Good morning. Thank you for joining us early today. I'm Stephanie Murray. I'm the director of the BXA Intercollege Degree Programs. Thank you all for being here on an early day. I'm glad we all get to celebrate our graduates and their families. I'm going to speak a few words, and we're going to have our student speakers, and then we'll have the presentation of our diplomas. So first, I am so glad to congratulate you, class of 2014. You have reached an amazing milestone, and I am so proud of and impressed by you. And I'd also like to welcome and congratulate your families, who have themselves reached an amazing milestone. They have been your support, both figuratively and very literally, over the last 4-ish years, and they deserve recognition as well. I'd also like to welcome the deans and associate deans representing the colleges that make up BXA. We have Dean Dan Martin, the Stanley and Marcia Gumber Dean, the College of Fine Arts. Randall Bryant, Dean and University Professor, the School of Computer Science. John Lehosky, Dean and University Professor, the Dietrich College of Humanities and Social Science. And Eric Grotzinger, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Affairs, Mellon College of Science. And we also have Franco Sciannameo, Associate Dean for Interdisciplinary Initiatives in the College of Fine Arts, who also started your time here at CMU as the Director of BXA. So you, class of 2014, are special. Not just for all the reasons that you will be told you are special this weekend, your hard work, your perseverance, your brilliance, your innovation, your creativity, but for a much more selfish reason on my part. You are my first class. I began working at CMU in late July 2010, and in August of that year, I met a good bunch of you at my first BXA orientation breakfast. I had been warned that the BXA kids were a special bunch, but I had no idea how dynamic, engaged, creative, and just plain weird you guys would be. I have been incredibly fortunate to be able to work with you and help guide you toward your plans for world domination. Over the last 4 years, your ranks were further bolstered by internal transfers, which brought in even more weird world dominators, and the resulting graduating class that's here today represents 17 academic disciplines, all 5 CFA disciplines, and a range of international experiences that cover the globe. And the awards, my word, the awards you guys have. This class contains 9 Phi Beta Kappa members, 8 recipients of a small undergraduate research grant, and 2 Student Employees of the Year. Most recently, at Meeting of the Minds, the annual undergraduate research symposium where many of you presented your senior capstone work, BXA students swept the awards for academic excellence, artistic achievements. 4 of the 5 awards, it's all the same, right? It's academic, it's artistic, it's excellent, it's amazing. But 4 of the 5 awards for our artistic achievement were given to BXA capstone projects, and the remaining award went to a collaborative project worked on by 2 BXA students and someone else whom I'm sure is smart and great and whatever. So now that we've celebrated you retrospectively, the structure of a commencement speech like this requires that I now exhort you in a forward-looking manner. You were great here. You did great things, you met great people, you racked up great sleep deficits, you proved your skill in multiple disciplines and across multiple modes of knowing and learning. Now you get to turn those skills, that knowledge, that creativity, toward making your way in the world. I am so proud of what you have accomplished here at CMU, but I know that the things that you'll do next are even more impressive and important. Go now, go show them all what your giant, weird diplomas really mean. This is also where I encourage you to join the BXA group on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and to become a loyal Scot, because even if you just give them $5, then you're in the loop. You can also try and find me on Facebook, but I'm pretty well hidden. So as I sat down to write this little speech, I knew I wanted to add a little bit of poetry onto the end, because that's what we humanists do. But it's hard to find poetry that is encouraging without being sappy, that is heartening without being cliched. When I tried to crowdsource it, my slightly snarky academic colleagues suggested Drake lyrics, the lyrics to Royals, Satan's speech from Paradise Lost, and the bare necessities from Disney's The Jungle Book. I disregarded all of those. The moral here is never ask a professor to be optimistic at the end of a semester. But I did discover one great poem to pull from. So here is a pebble of condensed emotion for you to tuck into your pocket, to take out and roll around occasionally. This is from Gwendolyn Brooks' The Second Sermon on the Warpland. This is the urgency. Live, and have your blooming in the noise of the whirlwind. All about are the cold places, all about are the pushmen and jeopardy, theft, all about are the stormers and scramblers. But what must our season be, which starts from fear? Live and go out, define and medicate the whirlwind. The time cracks into furious flower, lifts its face all unashamed and sways in wicked grace. It is lonesome, yes, for we are the last of the loud. Nevertheless, live. Conduct your blooming in the noise and whip of the whirlwind. Congratulations, class of 2014. Live furiously, live loudly, and bloom in the whirlwind. Now, thanks. Now we have our student speakers. We have 3 of them, so we'll just go in order of our program. So first up is Judson Thomas Peiske. I'll tell him what your degree is later.
Sounds good. Unfortunately, I ran out of print quota, so I have to read this from my iPad. So first off, I want to thank my parents for getting me this far. It's been a whirlwind, and they've helped me through all decisions I've made, even when I had to decide between doing music or decision science, and then when I decided to do both with BHA. So first, I would like to read you a quote from a book I recently read called A Whole New Mind by Daniel Pink. And I actually used it in my BHA application for when I applied to BHA. So, human beings somehow seem naturally inclined to see life in contrasting pairs. However, yin always needs a yang. This is especially true when it comes to our brains. The 2 sides work in concert, 2 sections of an orchestra. Well, after taking some cognitive neuroscience classes here at Carnegie Mellon, I am a little skeptic of some of the science that Daniel Pink puts into his book. But he does have a fair point. We do like to separate our lives into contrasting extreme categories. We have East versus West, Mars versus Venus, left versus right, logic versus emotion, and head versus heart. The problem is, most times we don't have to separate our lives into those extreme categories, and as Daniel Pink points out, it's often extremely dangerous if we do. That's how I felt when I first started out as a musician. So I went to the Philadelphia Boys Choir when I was in 4th grade, and I always had a passion for music. And so when I came to Carnegie Mellon and when I was looking at schools, I felt I had to choose which side of my brain to use, the left or the right, to do the arts or the real thing, which arts is a real thing too. But the problem was I had lots of interests. I love school and math and science and literature. So the BXA program really made that achievable for me. It allowed me to tie those 2 things together, and in my humble opinion, has made all of us BXA students better, more rounded people. So I remember Stephanie Murray once saying that a traditional student goes through life and has a T experience. So they have a broad breadth of requirements that they have to do, and then they have a really deep knowledge base in one subject. But we, as BXA students, actually have a pie experience. And I'd love to say it was like delicious apple pie that you can get down at Union the Union Grill down on Craig Street, but it's actually like the mathematical symbol pi, which of course has two lines. We have the same breadth requirements, but we have two very deep knowledge bases. So today, successful people can't just be knowledgeable in one area, because most of those technical jobs can either be automated or outsourced. Today, we have to be both logical and analytical, as well as nonlinear and intuitive. Today, the defining skills in the previous era, the left brain information age capabilities, are no longer just sufficient, but still needed. And the capabilities that were once disdained or thought frivolous, the right brain qualities of inventiveness, empathy, joyfulness, and meaning, will increasingly determine who will be successful here in the new world. So, I don't know exactly what each of my classmates is doing after graduation. What I do know is that we're going to face it with a new outlook, from one with both arts and academia, one with logic and passion, one with reason and emotion, so that we can work with our heart, so our heart can be in our work. Thank you.
Thank you, Judd. Next, we have Erica Moore, our representative from the Bachelor of Science in Arts.
Unlike Judd, I had plenty of printing quota, so I have it totally printed out. All right. Good morning. It is early. I wanted to briefly highlight the enormous effect that the BXA program has had on my experience at Carnegie Mellon. I entered as a music major, but after my first semester here, I started going through a midlife identity crisis, at the ripe, old age of 18. I'm sort of tired of being characterized by either my music interest, right, or my interest in biology, whereas I believed and still believe that I am at least defined by these concentrations together. Common theme I think you'll hear. These thoughts drove me to transfer into BXA, where creativity is fostered as students are encouraged to explore the space between your two concentrations of choice. I have to say though, I was initially skeptical how successful this would be. Music, biology, come on, seriously, is there anything that actually overlaps between the two? Biology revolves around knowledge and precision, knowledge of how molecules, cells, tissues, and organs interact in complex and cause and effect reactions. Understanding these balances is critical to understand biological processes at work. For example, what is happening in a patient's body. A great music performance, on the other hand, is not limited to showcasing precise technical abilities, but thrives upon an individual's artistic expression. The nuances and subtleties in each lyrical line can then be altered to achieve various characters unique to each performance. It was not until this year that I truly came to appreciate BXA's vision and purpose when we began working on our capstone projects. These projects are meant to represent the culmination of our 4 years at Carnegie Mellon. I ended up designing my project around the development of scientific knowledge, using the history of autoimmunity as my case study. For me, I found myself most intrigued when learning how the ideas revolving around autoimmunity changed after their initial discovery, because it demonstrated the progression of interpretation concerning complex chronic diseases today. Over the year, there were many parts of this project that I loved. Working with my advisor, delving into the history, trying to reimagine the perspective of the scientific community at that time. But my favorite would be that there was little to no limitations on these projects. Each of us was able to craft a project around a topic that we were passionate for, that utilized our individual strengths. Although it was a long process, I feel as though I finally understand how to combine my concentrations and skills to address these complex, challenging questions. It is thus my view that over the course of time spent at Carnegie Mellon, the BXA program trains us to essentially be modern Renaissance men and women. We are not defined by one or even two disciplines, and we definitely don't follow any guidelines. Instead, similar to the Renaissance itself, we have the ability to promote a transformation of ideas by forming bridges between our concentrations and others. And in the spirit of a literal bridge, the Pouch Memorial Bridge, it may be that our role in society is to bring together and connect the disparate ideas of the world. Being a part of the BXA program provided the foundation for my time here at Carnegie Mellon, bridging my many interests together, a sentiment that I hope resonates with all of us here. Thank you.
And now, representing the Bachelor of Computer Science and Arts, Andy Beer.
I'd like to begin by correcting the future mistake, kindly. My name is pronounced BR. It's cool, it's fine. It's on a need-to-know basis. I keep it very close to the chest. But yeah, so I'm in the Computer Science and Arts program, and I know you're wondering, what's that? So I thought I would demonstrate for you 01000011110. That was a haiku, thank you. Thank you. But I also have some serious things, too. 1 year and 3 weeks ago, the theme for Carnegie Mellon's 2014 first-year orientation was revealed. Welcome to the family. Welcome into the lives of our community, comprised of engineers, artists, entertainers, researchers, entrepreneurs, creators, thinkers, and doers. It has been said, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And the collective overwhelming sharpness in this room right now is a testament to this truth in our lives. I look around and see graduates, families, faculty members, staff, and mentors. You are people whose work comes from your hearts. And your hearts are perpetual energy machines guided by childhood dreams and adulthood skill sets. Converging in Pittsburgh for this brief time of celebration. To the graduates, congratulations, we freaking made it! Indeed, we have made many great sacrifices of our time, talents, and even at times our health to make it to this place today. However, we are not the only ones to be recognized. Earlier this year, I was seated right there, listening to a memoir by CMU alumnus James Lawley. Lawley began his career as a soldier in the U.S. Army's Airborne Rangers and told a story of a celebration he witnessed when a prisoner of war had returned from Vietnam. This man's plane had been hit behind enemy lines, forcing him to eject from the plane and parachute down to spend the next couple years in a Vietnamese prison. Many soldiers congratulated him on his return and his bravery throughout the multi-year situation, but he was unfazed. Instead, he made his way to an old man of low status at the military base and asked him his name. After hearing the old man's name, tears came to his eyes. Collecting himself, he said, "You packed my parachute that day. I owe you my life. Thank you." Graduates, on a day like today, when everyone is congratulating us, I hope that you won't forget to ask yourselves, who packs my parachute? None of us have graduated in a vacuum. To the families and other supporters here today, thank you. Thank you doesn't even scratch the surface. Your sacrifices have made it possible for us to achieve an education that we couldn't have dreamed of when we were kids. And on behalf of the class of 2014, you all have my sincerest gratitude. As a closing note, I wish to end my college career where it began, in the pages of the last lecture by Randy Pausch. While the wealth of wisdom in this book merits another reading, I leave you graduates with this small charge. Go out and do for others what somebody did for you. As Carnegie Mellon graduates, our dreams are at our fingertips. If we can empower others to reach their dreams, then the world will be a better place for our efforts. Thank you.
Thank you to all three of our student speakers, and I also have to say that every year, Emily Size, our amazing program coordinator and communications manager, sends out an email that asks students to send us the phonetic pronunciation of their name all spelled out nice, and I have a sheet here that gives me that. And every year, I realize I've been pronouncing somebody's name wrong all 4 years. This year, it was Judd. And so I was so focused on getting his last name right that I forgot how to pronounce Andy's, so I am sorry. I'll do it right for the diploma part. All right, so now we will present your diplomas. We'll go in order, BHA, BSA, BCSA, and we'll be alphabetically within that. So if we could have our representative deans. Students, please come up stage right, and you'll exit stage left. So for the Bachelor of Humanities and Arts degrees, Masa Borhani, International Relations and Art. Hanbit Chang, Creative Writing and Art. Laura Rosa Cantero, Film and Media Studies and Architecture with a minor in Business Administration. Danielle Marie Dong, Ethics, History, and Public Policy and Architecture. Next is a student who is not here, but Emily Braun Faber, Creative Writing and Art. Sarah Gao, Psychology and Design. Emily Ann Gibson, History and Drama with an additional major in English. Also in absentia, Sandra Rose Hart, Creative Writing and Art. Kayla A. Heglas, Professional Writing and Art. Cole Heiner, Creative Writing and Art with an additional major in Human-Computer Interaction. In absentia, Yuki Key, Policy and Management and Music Performance. Alexander S. Lee, Creative Writing and Art. Jeanette Lydia Lorenz, Environmental Studies and Art, and a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Nicholas Bemis Marlton, Ethics, History, and Public Policy and Art. In absentia, Prisca A. Ojido, Public Policy and Architecture. Catherine A. Paquette, Environmental Studies and Architecture with a minor in Professional Writing. Brian Pettit Schieber, Global Studies and Drama with a minor in Hispanic Studies. Judson Thomas Paskey, Decision Science and Music Performance. You may all take advantage of the posing moment if you want. Anna Elizabeth Shepperson, Anthropology and Art. I did. Let me back up. Anna L. Nelson, Creative Writing and Art. And now back to our regular alphabetical sequence. Andrew M. Steiger, Creative Writing and Architecture with a minor in Professional Writing. In absentia, Jill L. Steiner, Decision Science and Art. Eliana G. Wiener, Psychology and Architecture. And rounding out the BHAs, Emma T. Young, Decision Science and Art with a minor in Industrial Design. And now for our Bachelor of Science and Arts degrees. Angela Victoria Lowe, Biological Sciences and Musical Performance. Corey Marshall, Biological Sciences and Music Performance with a minor in Biomedical Engineering. Anna Lee Moore, Physics and Art. Erica Caitlin Moore, Biological Sciences and Music Performance. Elena C. Peterson, Biological Sciences and Art with a minor in French and Francophone Studies. Madeline C. Robson, Mathematical Sciences and Architecture with a minor in Business Administration. Jessica L. Waldman, Biological Sciences and Art. And finally, Philip Zacco, Biological Sciences and Music Performance. And now for our Bachelor of Computer Science and Arts degrees. Andrew J. Beer, Computer Science and Music Technology. Samuel C. Gruber, Computer Science and Architecture. And Evan B. Shimizu, Computer Science and Drama. And we also have 3 self-defined major degrees to award that Dr. Shanameo will help give out. Alicia M. Finger, Transmedia Communications. Oh, and also a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. That's important too. Congratulations. Alan Herman, Human Systems, with an additional major in Human-Computer Interaction. Benjamin J. Karp, Jazz Performance, with a minor in Physics. And that's the important part. Now we're done with that. What we'd like to do now is invite you to a reception across the hall in the Alumni Concert Hall with some breakfast and some refreshments and general mingling. After that, the candidates will line up and march over to Baker Hall where we will line up with the rest. Emily, with the hat, will be carrying our flag, so you can look for her and line up behind her. We will march in a group to the stadium for the big commencement ceremony, and at that point your families can go find seats over there as well. Again, congratulations. I am so proud of you and impressed by you. Thanks again to our deans and associate deans. And thanks to Emily Size and Carrie Hagan, the rest of our BXA staff, for helping organize and pull this off. Thank you, congratulations, go have a fantastic day.